Before I get to the number one secret to mastering Chinese, I just wanted to show you this article. Why Chinese is so damn hard, but it's actually an essay, not an article. It's so damn hard by David Moser, Department of Asian Languages and Cultures, University of Michigan. And I'm guessing Mr. David Moser is actually a PhD or master, something like that, along those lines, because obviously he's like the head of the department. Or anyways, so here I'm gonna scroll to the bottom. I'm not gonna bore you. This is actually a long essay. Um, just go to the conclusion. I'll just read this part here. Someone once said that learning Chinese is a 5-year lesson in humility. I used to think this meant that at the end of 5 years you will still have mastered Chinese and learned humility along the way. However, now having studied Chinese for over 6 years, I have concluded that actually the phrase means that after 5 years, your Chinese will still be abysmal, but at least you will have thoroughly learned humility. There is still the awe-inspiring fact that Chinese people manage to learn their own language very well. Perhaps they're like the grade school kids that Baroque, I don't know how to pronounce that properly. Groups run to sing Bach's cantatas. The story goes that someone in the audience, amazed at hearing such a youthful cheer of flawlessly singing Bach's uncompromisingly difficult vocal music, asked the choir director, "But how are they able to perform such difficult music?" "Shh, not so loud," said the director. "If you don't tell them it's difficult, they never know." Anyways, I think you get my point. But this article is completely BS. I'm gonna go why. It's just the learning methods. You'll see my story in a second here, but this is completely BS. And just there's a huge gap in the miseducation. You'll see why in a second here. Let me just move on to something cool I also found. This is from the Global Mail a few years back. It says, if you can't read these words, better start. And it basically says, if you can't read these words, better start brushing up. A profound global shift has begun, the kind that occurs once every few lifetimes. Don't be left behind. If you can actually read the Chinese here at the bottom, it says that it's China's century. And this is Global Mail. It's a huge newspaper in Toronto. It's probably the number one newspaper there. And here's another interesting quote. Even if it's not another quote, but anyways, another interesting thing that you probably don't know. Even if its growth slows to 4 or 5% a year from the current 9%, it would have an output of 40 trillion by 2054. Today, all group of 8 economies together produce only half that figure. And this is Robert Fogel, Foreign Policy. All right, this is a little bit about me. I got a certificate to teach CSL, it's Chinese to non-native speakers. My name's right here, Jules Nilsson. That's the name. This is from 2009, and it's from the Chinese Language Education Institute. More of me. That's me on the left. Yeah, it's actually embarrassing. This is actually after I studied Chinese for about 2 years, a little over 2 years actually. I went to a competition and I pretty much dominated the competition. Um, they called me a Shenzhen Dashan. Dashan, if you don't know, Dashan is he's the most famous foreigner in China for his Chinese. He's the funny thing is about him. He's a major in Chinese. He studied for 4 years. He's been in China for over 20 years. He has a Chinese wife. I never had none of those benefits. I don't even have a girlfriend. That's probably some other issues. Maybe I'm like ugly, whatever. But anyways, the point being is I was able to, now I can say with maybe at the time my Chinese maybe is relative to his, but now I can say my Chinese is better, if not much better than his. Anyways, so I was compared to him. This is after 2.5 years, and as you can see, I'm balding. I'm not. I have a little more hair growth now, but anyways, and I was really skinny. And I just showed this picture because, to be honest, I'll be honest with you. Like a confession, I'm really embarrassed about this picture. Like I look really skinny, and I'm like balding, and I'm in my early 20s. So, anyways. I just showed it to you though, so anyways, don't tell anybody. But actually, you can tell anybody. Anyways, it's all good. But yeah, now I'm not so skinny. I'm a little more ripped, and you can't hear see here, but I have more hair. Anyways, there you have it. This is another this is June 14th. I got this is there's 6 levels. So I scored advanced, intermediate, and this was on the basically on my essay ability. This is from the NTNU. This is a university in Taiwan. And so there you go. So I know what I'm talking about. The other thing is I've been teaching languages like English ESL for like the last 8 years off and on. I was also French native speaker. So when it comes to languages, man, I know my shit. And I've tried a lot of programs, pretty much all the programs out there. And